All right, good morning, everyone. This public meeting of the Philadelphia Board of Pensions and Retirement will be conducted as a virtual meeting using Microsoft Teams. Pursuant to Section 21-1503 of the Philadelphia Code, this meeting is being recorded, and the recording will be made available to the public online at the board's website within 10 days. Please note that you consent to such recording by joining the meeting. Please also note that the meeting software will log the email or telephone number that you used to join this meeting, and therefore that information, either the address, email, or telephone, will become part of the recording that is made available to the public. Now we'll call our October 28th, 2021 meeting to order, and I'd like to first ask our board to adopt the virtual procedures for today's meeting. A motion to adopt those new procedures has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, we'll go to the roll. Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
I approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Sherilyn?
Approve.
Veronica?
Approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
And Ron?
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 2, a motion to approve our minutes from the September 23rd meeting has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, we'll go to the roll. Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
I approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Sherilyn?
Approve.
Veronica?
Approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
Ron?
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. Item 3, a motion to approve 151 pension applications and 92 withdrawal applications has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
I approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Sherilyn?
Approve.
Veronica?
Approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
Ron?
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. Section 4, 4A, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for James J. Byrne has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing none, move to the roll. Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
I approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Sherilyn?
Approve.
Veronica?
Approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
Ron?
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. 4B, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Ricky Madison has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
I approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Sherilyn?
Approve.
Veronica?
Approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
Ron?
Approve.
The motion carries unanimously. 4C, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Gregory V. Jackson has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
Deny.
Marcia?
Deny.
Sherilyn?
Deny.
Veronica?
Approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
Ron?
I approve.
The motion carries 5-3. 4D, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Michelle Stokes has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, we'll move to the roll. Brian?
I'll abstain.
Vanessa?
Deny.
Marcia?
Deny.
Sherilyn?
Deny.
Veronica?
Abstain.
Carol?
Abstain.
Kellen?
Deny.
And Ron?
I abstain.
The motion fails 0-4 with 4 abstentions. 4E, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Nathaniel Thomas has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Brian,
Sorry about that. I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Approve.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
and Ron.
I approve.
The motion carries unanimously. For F, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Gregory Tedisco has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on this item? Brian,
I'll abstain.
Vanessa,
Deny.
Marcia,
Deny.
Sherilyn,
Deny.
Veronica,
Abstain.
Carol,
Abstain.
Helen,
Deny.
and Ron.
I abstain.
The motion fails 0-4 with 4 abstentions. For G, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Lydia L. Jubilee has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Brian,
I'll abstain.
Vanessa,
Deny.
Marcia,
Deny.
Sherilyn,
Deny.
Veronica,
Abstain.
Carol,
Abstain.
Kellen,
Deny.
and Ron.
I abstain.
The motion fails 0-4 with 4 abstentions. For H, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Eliezer Beauchamp has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Approve.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
and Ron.
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. For I, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Robin Mitchell has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Approve.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
and Ron.
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. For J, an application to approve the service-connected disability benefits for Malika Saunders has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Deny.
Marcia,
Deny.
Sherilyn,
Deny.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
and Ron.
I approve.
Okay. Motion carries 5-3. 4-1, an application to approve the service-connected death benefits for Joseph Use has been made and seconded. Any discussion, sorry, health and welfare only. Any discussion on this item? Hearing-
Jackie, you're coming in and out, Jackie. If I'm up for a vote, I approve.
I'm sorry. Okay, hearing no discussion, Brian votes to approve. Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Approve.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol? Do we have Carol's vote?
No, you do now approve.
Thank you. Ron?
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously. Section 5, 5A, an
Hey,
application.
Jackie, you forgot to ask me
Did
how
you
I
have
vote.
Kellen's
I'm,
vote?
I'm sorry. Kellen for 4-1.
I approve.
Thank you. Motion carries unanimously 8-0. Moving to 5A, an application to approve the survivorship benefits regarding George Drake, the deceased, for Diana Drake has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Deny.
Marcia,
Deny.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
and Ron.
I approve.
The
I
motion,
didn't vote,
Did
Jackie.
Sherilyn vote? Jackie,
I'm sorry, Sherilyn.
Deny.
Thank you. Motion carries 5-3. Apologies, Kellen and Sherilyn. 6A, motion to approve the survivorship benefits regarding Dennis Burns, the deceased, for David Burns, a medically dependent adult child, has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Approve.
Veronica? Veronica, do we have you for 6A? Great, I'll come back. Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
Ron,
I approve.
and we'll try Veronica for 6A. Do we still have her on the line, Bill?
we do.
Okay. Well, we'll note that we did not receive a vote from Veronica, but the motion carries unanimously 7-0. That moves us into old business. For 7A, a motion to approve the service-connected death benefits for Alex Robinson has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Approve.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approve.
Ron.
I approve.
The motion carries unanimously. 7B, a motion to approve the service-connected disability benefits regarding Barrington Hilton has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Sherilyn,
Deny.
Veronica,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
Kellen,
Approved.
and Ron.
I approve.
The motion carries 7-1.
We'll look at it that way.
Is there any other old business before the board? Okay, that brings us to new business and the executive director's report.
Good morning, everyone. Just to let you know, we are currently with the state audit, the annual audit, and the actuarial data review are all going on contemporaneously. So far, things are moving along. The state auditor will be coming in sometime in the next couple of weeks to review files. So we had our initial, they call it a kickoff meeting. So we had that last week. The annual ethics training, you'll be receiving more information from Jim concerning that. For those of you who are board trustees and not city employees subject to the ethics training, you'll be getting something from Jim concerning that over the next couple of days. And since we have a full slate today, I think that's all the new information I have.
Thank you, Frank.
Well-
And is the papers workshop, is that information only item?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a motion was made previously for anyone who wanted to attend that. That was just a reminder for people who still had not signed up if they wanted to do so.
Okay, great. Any other new business before the board today? Okay, that moves us to the litigation summary I don't know.
And, yeah, we don't have the law department here today, at least, so, that will speak for itself.
Right. And with that, a motion to adjourn has been made and seconded, and hearing no objections, the motion carries. I'm sorry, Carol.
Yeah, I keep going out. Excuse me. So, I don't know, Veronica, is you on the phone? I mean, is you on the?
Yes, I got an answer to that question, Carol. But just
Okay, all right.
to make it clear, the question that Carol and I were going over last night was an employee that a drop employee who picks option 2 or 3, is the drop payment reduced as well? And I got the answer, and the answer
The answer is what I can't hear.
Yeah, the answer is yes, of course.
I could tell you the answer. The drop is based on the monthly pension. So once they select the option, their monthly pension is reduced depending on what option they select. So therefore, the total drop amount is going to be based on what their monthly pension would be going forward. So necessarily, yes, the drop will be what it is, but once that lump sum is established, that's not reduced. But the amount of your monthly pension is determined on the option you select.
Yeah, I would. My question was the lump sum reduced, not the month. I know the monthly pension payment is reduced. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just but I just want to know, was the lump sum distribution reduced?
Yeah, the lump sum is based on the monthly pension. So once the monthly pension is determined based on the joint survivorship option, then that is how the drop is determined. So once that drop lump sum is determined based on the monthly pension, it's not reduced unless the person leaves before 4 years. That's the only way that you don't get the full drop. So yeah, there is no.
Okay. I'm sorry.
There is no further reduction of the lump sum. It's based on your monthly pension, and your monthly pension is adjusted based on the joint survivor that you select.
So when does the person pick their survivor? At the beginning of the drop or at the end of the drop?
They normally pick it when they enter drop. Yeah, they normally pick it then.
They pick it when they enter, but then they revisit it when they come in to retire.
That's right. They can adjust it if their circumstances have changed before they separate it. But most people do pick it when they enter drop.
So when they pick it when they enter and they choose option 2 or 3, well, that's they choose option 2 or 3. The amount that they are asking about is already calculated by the actuarial, right? That is the correct amount, right? Like it's already been reduced.
Yes,
when
Carol.
When you send them the statement saying this is what their monthly pension is going to be, that's the actuarial payment.
If they selected option 2, yes.
And if they 2 or 3, yes, that's what I'm asking the question.
Yep.
Because that's not the understanding that the employees. Okay, so that's fine then. So they should already know how much their survivor is going to get and how much they're going to get if they pick those options.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's why, because I had a member too with the same question, and I'm still waiting for an answer, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Carol. So a motion to adjourn has been made and seconded, and hearing no objections, the motion carries unanimously, and we'll move into our deferred comp portion of the meeting. And the first item is to approve the minutes. A motion has been made and seconded to do so. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to the roll. Brian?
I approve.
Francois? Or Sherilyn?
I approve.
Thank you. Vanessa?
Approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Veronica?
approve.
Carol?
Approve.
Kellen?
Approve.
And Ron?
I approve.
Motion carries unanimously, and that moves us into item 2, the plan update and activity report.
That would be Brad Urbina, Nationwide.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
As of
Good
September
morning.
30th, good morning. As of September 30th, deferred compensation plan.
And I'll ask for anyone who's not presenting or a trustee, please to keep yourself on mute so that everyone can hear the information.
Thank you. As of September 30th, the ending balance in deferred compensation plan is $1,705,181,671. That's about 2% decrease since the month of August. Total participant count balance is about 24,495. These are participants that are actively contributing, retired or terminated or inactive. We have 18 less than the month of August. Actively deferred participant is 19,120, just 2 more than last month. New enrollments increased we received 91 new enrollments. Primary driver is the opportunity to participate in the new employee orientation meetings, which Brad will discuss in further detail. Inactive participants, we saw a decrease of 20 less. Total inactive count is 5,375. In the 401A plan, the ending balance of September was $1,987,560. That's about 3% less than the month of August. The total participant count is 889. We did see 5 less from the month of August. Call volumes continue to go down. In September, we handled about 2,820 phone calls. That's a decrease of 139 less calls. Year to date, when we compare it to 2020, around this time, we've seen about 10% less calls handled. That's because more and more participants are setting up their online accounts. Now there's 70% participants who have an account balance that are engaged with the planning tools and resources, as well as the My Interactive Retirement Planner tool and webinars in English as well as in Spanish that they can view at their own convenience. Percentage option, there are 930 participants contributing in percentage options. That's about 8 more than the month of August. And in the Roth 457, which is the after-tax contribution, it continues to be very popular. There are 3,637 participants, 63 more participants than last month, with total assets about 16.1 million. I'm happy to answer any questions. If not, I'll pass it on to Brad to discuss the service summary report for September. Brad?
Perfect. Thank you, Bina. So for the month of September, the local service team conducted 120 individual consults. 32 enrollments into the plan were done with the local office staff. And of those 120 consults, 24 were done using the My Interactive Retirement Planner tool. The team conducted 19 workshops, a combination of virtual and in-person, with 173 attendees. As Bina mentioned, we were able to participate in 8 new employee orientations for the month, 2 with the Streets Department, 2 with DHS. There was a new prison academy class. And we also were able to conduct virtually our Social Security and retiree healthcare webinars. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brad and Bina. Any questions for Nationwide? Okay, we'll move to item 3, the Fidelity No Fee Index Fund item.
Thanks, Jackie. Okay, so you have staff's report. In September of 2018, you may recall Fidelity rolled out the industry's first zero fee index funds. The firm introduced 4 funds which were marketed primarily to attract younger clients with the expectation that clients bringing assets into the fund would ultimately lead to higher expense or higher paying funds and services over the longer term of a relationship. So per the request from the board, staff conducted a comparison of the zero fee fidelity funds to the comparable fund, Vanguard Index Fund, and the plan lineup. So you'll see in the report, Fidelity or staff compared the Fidelity Large Cap Fund to the Vanguard Institutional Index and the Fidelity International Zero Fee Fund to the Vanguard Total International Stock Index. You see the performance in the middle of the page. So with the performance information available to date, the comparison of the Fidelity funds to the Vanguard funds did not represent significant differences in performance. You'll see that the Vanguard funds, which have what we consider a near zero expense ratio, outperformed or performed the same as the Fidelity funds in 6 of the 8 periods shown. Making the zero expense ratio offered somewhat negligible to date. That said, we do recognize that over the long term, such expenses and fees, they do detract from returns in those longer term periods. Which brings to point, let's look at the 3-year number and the large cap funds. That's the bottom line of the first table. So I want to, just highlight that the 3-year performance for the Fidelity Fund, it's outperforming the Vanguard Fund by roughly 60 basis points. So when we took a deeper look into those numbers, slightly skewed. In 2020, the Fidelity Fund outperformed the Vanguard Fund by almost 270 basis points, and that was largely attributed to almost a 200 basis point heavier weighting in the technology sector. Technology outperformed, outpaced every other sector in the index by quite a bit, a very large margin. And so, that's what we're seeing there that's incorporated into that 3-year trailing number. You'll see that year to date, the Vanguard Fund is outpacing the Fidelity Fund. It's only been a 3-year track record, so there really isn't much else to go on. But, that being said, given the performance that we're seeing, we will continue to monitor these zero fee funds. And, should there be any significant changes, or if there is a trend that we see this significant outperformance, we will definitely, revisit the discussion. Are there any questions?
Dominique, just briefly,
Yes.
It would be very strange to see a product that is marketed to act as an index being overweighted in a certain area. So I assume that would give you concern. Would that be accurate?
That is accurate. And I want to also point out, so the Fidelity Fund it's not necessarily an apples to apples comparison, which is why I didn't use the word overweight. I used heavier weighted than the Vanguard Fund. And the reason for that is because they've designed their own index fund to track their own index. And so it's not necessarily being built to track the performance of, say, the S&P or the Russell 1000. So I was careful in the wording to just say that the way they've designed this, it is a heavier weighting in that sector because it's their own index fund that they've created there. So yes, Fran, you are right. Typically, that would be a concern. Are there any other questions?
Someone has their hand up, Dominique.
Yeah, I think one of our incoming trustees, Roosevelt Poplar, may have the hand icon so I can recognize him.
I apologize. That was a mistake. I'm trying to get the screen organized here, and I hit something by mistake. So
That's okay.
No problem. Thanks. So with that, if there are no other questions, again, we'll continue to monitor the performance, but we're not making any recommendations for any changes at this time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dominique.
Sure.
A motion to adjourn our deferred comp portion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on this item? Hearing none, we will adjourn, and I'll turn it over to the chair for the investment committee.
Thanks, Jackie. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the investment committee into session. The first item is approval of the September 21 board minutes. It's been moved and properly seconded that the minutes be Approved. Any discussion? Okay, I'll call the roll. Diana,
I wasn't at the last meeting. I don't know if you still want me to vote, but if I can, I would approve them.
okay. We'll mark you down as approved. Brian,
I approve.
Vanessa,
Approve.
Marcia,
Approve.
Veronica. Is Veronica here?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move on to Rebecca,
Approve.
Carol,
Approve.
and Ron.
I approve.
And motion carries. Thank you. And item 2 is the MWDBE and local brokerage report.
Thanks, Rob. Good morning, everyone. Report you have in front of you describes the local minority and woman-owned brokerage program, which has an aspirational target for managers on an annual basis that 35% of their trades be directed to qualifying brokers. You'll see that on the equity side, we've had continued overall strong performance as a group from our equity managers. 45% of the trades in total in the second quarter were directed to qualifying brokers, and year to date, we're at 49%. Causeway directed the most percentage, the highest percentage, excuse me, in the second quarter at 100% to qualifying brokers. The third page of your report breaks down in some detail the commissions by broker. You'll see that the top 4 in the second quarter were Pensera, Loop, Montrose, and Cabrera. And then the others round out the total to 100%. On the fixed income side, a little bit under the target year to date at 28%. The main reason for that is we did have a quarter, which is unusual for Rumline, where none of the trades went to qualifying brokers. That's not something that I would expect, or staff, excuse me, would expect to be typical.
Do you know what happened, Chris? Do you know why that happened?
I don't know. I have a couple, I could surmise a couple things, but I am trading emails and messages with folks at Rumline. Also, when we have our Q3 update calls on performance, this topic will undoubtedly, come up. I'd rather not speculate. I mean, offline, I could speculate, but not something I would. Not something I would expect, to be common or to repeat itself. I think had they had a normal quarter, you would see that year-to-date number, have been pulled up. Longfellow, Garcia, Sim on a year-to-date basis, all ahead of their target. Lord Abbott trending upwards, as is MetLife. So no significant concerns at the moment, but staff will come back as part of the third quarter report and provide additional detail specific to Rumline.
Chris, can you share screen the exact page you're looking at right now?
Defer to Bill.
What's the name on the report, Chris? I'm sorry.
2Q21 commission report. Sorry about that, Rebecca. I was looking at my
No,
notes.
it's okay. I'm just not.
No, I assumed it was up. I was looking at my screen.
Okay.
And then the fixed income's on the fourth page. So we will come back at the December meeting or even intro meeting with an update specific to Rumline, as well as more recent third quarter data.
I'm sorry, Chris, can you resend that to me and I can print it out? I don't see it in my materials.
Yep. Okay, I just sent it over, Bill.
Okay, thanks. Page 3, Chris.
The fixed incomes, page 4, pages 2 and 3 are the equity managers.
Okay, it's on the screen now.
Can everyone see that?
Yes. And where are their goals, Chris?
It's an annual 35% target. So each
Okay.
manager, ideally each one individually would hit 35%. Aspirationally, obviously some tend to do better than others at times. So you can see, like on the equity side, well above the target, but each manager individually has an aspirational 35% target.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
And am I remember this correctly, Chris, that MetLife was lower before and has been improving over time?
Significantly. Back when they were still Logan Circle, they started, as did Sim. They were usually at 0% or, low single digits, and they've just continued to trend upward closer and closer to the 35%
So
target.
if they are able to get close to 35%, it should help the total since they're
correct
such a portion of the principal. Okay.
Correct.
So Chris, Drumline doesn't trade with any local minority women brokers at all?
Carol, you broke up a little bit. Could you just repeat the question? I'm sorry.
She was asking about the 0% for Drumline.
No, Carol, they normally do. As I said, it was a total outlier, as you can see from their year-to-date total at 30%, meaning their trades in the first quarter had to be pretty heavy with female, diverse, or local brokers. So this quarter was very unusual for them, and as I said, not only as part of the third quarter calls, but individually, staff is in communications with them. I will provide additional information specific to this time period and why over this specific 3 months there was no trades with qualifying brokers. But that is not normal. Normally they are significantly higher than the 35% target.
Can I ask a question, Chris? Do we ever look at women versus local minorities or just minorities, period? Because sometimes what happens is there's an overrepresentation sometimes.
So I can provide a list. The approved broker list, and just to be clear, the approved broker list, it's not a laborious or difficult process. It's a couple-page application, and really it's just to verify your status in one or more of the categories. I can provide, or we can provide as a supplement for that third page, Marcia, what each of the brokers, what group or groups they qualify under. I just eyeballing it and having spoken or received messages from a few of the brokers who have reached out over time. I see several that are on the higher end that qualify at a minimum as diverse, and I think in a couple cases may qualify under multiple categories, including diverse. Loop, for example, Cabrera, Sturdivant, just to name three. I believe Pensera. So what I'll do, or staff will do, Marcia, is we'll go through and we'll identify as a separate line, what each of those brokers, what category or categories they fall under, and we can send that out. If not today, then certainly tomorrow.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thanks, Marcia. Chris, I looked at the first quarter report and Rumline had 72% with minority and women brokers.
Yeah, it was, and as I said, it's strange to see any manager with zero, unless they did very little or no trading in a particular quarter, which obviously wasn't the case here. So I will, perhaps as part of that report that I'll send around that Marcia brought up, if I have additional information on Rumline, I'll share that, circulate that as well.
Yeah, so that was first quarter that Jimmy talked about, right? Okay.
Correct.
We're in third quarter right now.
Yes, this is the second quarter report, but the third quarter would have ended September 30th. That's right.
So when you send out that report that Marcia's asking about, can you also include what they did the second quarter there? What everybody did, what everybody else is already listed.
So, Chris, just send out. Hey, Carol, I think maybe what would be helpful, Chris, just send out both quarters when you send out the reports. We can see what happened.
First and second.
That's fine.
Yep, that's fine. Yep. That's fine. Yep, we can do that.
Okay. Any other questions on the report? Okay, then let's move
No, but
to
we're looking good. We're looking good in terms of, they've done a great job in terms of really upping the numbers with regard to the minority and women representation, I have to say.
go on to agenda item 3, the investment performance update.
Sure, thanks. I'll cover the numbers, both the estimated numbers, which you saw yesterday, and then the numbers ending September 30th. Just a couple quick notes, and then, I know Marquette will have some things to comment on, as well as the rebalancing memo. And some of the comments that I'll make will probably come up as part of the rebalancing memo. There's obviously a lot, going on in the markets. We saw a bit of a downdraft at the end of September, although at least as of yesterday, markets had rebounded. Some of the key things that we're keeping an eye on, are activity, or in some cases lack thereof, in Washington, which includes the debt ceiling crisis, which seems to have been again pushed to the back burner. Inflation, supply bottlenecks. Some of you may have seen this morning that it was described that core CPI moderated, but it was still at 4.5%, which is still very high given some of the things that get stripped out of core CPI when it's measured. So, it's something that staff, or a few of the things that staff and Marquette continue to discuss as we come forward with, various recommendations about the portfolio. Excuse me. Last month, the fund returned negative 2.2%, which was just under the benchmark. For the quarter, negative 30 basis points, and year to date 8.7 on the positive, which is just ahead of the benchmark. The numbers that went out yesterday that are estimated and preliminary through close of business Tuesday, for the month up around 2.9%. Fiscal year to date, approximately 2.6%, and calendar year to date 11.8%. 0.81%. No actionable concerns with any of the managers. Just to highlight a couple, we've seen continued strong, performance from Elizabeth Park, UBS. Their numbers have now rebounded sharply to the positive side, albeit trailing the relevant Odyssey index. Clarion, our other core property fund manager, continues to turn in very, very strong performance. And we've continued to receive the relevant distributions and income payments from UBS. The last one was around $13.5–14 million. With that, if there's no questions, which of course we're happy to take, I'll turn it to Marquette for any comments they have on the numbers, as well as discussion of the rebalancing memo.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Very quickly on the numbers, a couple of things to highlight. I know that we speak a lot about the asset allocation in the portfolio. I think times like this, times like the month of September, are a good check-in with respect to the asset allocation. So as an example, during the month of September, the broader market was down, southwards of 4%, closer to 5%. Our portfolio was down 2.2%. So from a diversification or downside protection standpoint, the asset allocation continues to work well for us. If we look at the year-to-date result just shy of 9% through the end of September, also points to the fact that the asset allocation has participated in the market upside. When we think about some of the other comments that Chris made, in particular inflation, that's definitely a talking point and an area of the markets that we have been discussing a lot with clients. When we think about our asset allocation and we think about the asset classes that are most sensitive to an inflationary environment, fixed income is the one area that will see a good degree of pressure, more so than other risk-seeking components of the market. When we think about our asset allocation, we have around 10% in investment-grade fixed income, which is the more vulnerable segment of the market, particularly in an inflationary environment. The other segments of our portfolio are actually poised to do pretty well under a moderate inflationary environment. Equities being part of that equation, some degree of the opportunistic fixed income would be part of that. Real assets, real estate, all of these asset classes should actually hold up pretty well in an inflationary environment. So from an asset allocation standpoint, the building blocks in our portfolio are expected to be pretty resilient for us as we kind of go through this strange market cycle that we're in. So that's a quick summary of the asset allocation and thoughts around the macro environment. Happy to take any questions if there are any over anything that I just went through.
Do you want to go out to the rebalancing?
Sure, absolutely. So, Chris, should I take this, the rebalancing memo?
Yeah, if you want to start, and then we can staff can fill in. The only thing, Quaco, I was going to mention just from the jump, for your benefit, once we pay out benefits at the end of this month, assuming the cash, which is tomorrow, assuming there's no major cash withdrawals today, our cash balance will stand at approximately $215 million as of tomorrow.
Perfect. Okay, so with that update from Chris, we can jump into the memo. And the memo really just points to the cash allocation of the portfolio. As of the time of writing the memo, the cash allocation was $267 million. As Chris mentioned, that's going to be down a little bit in the next 24 hours to the tune of $215 million as the remaining amount. So we'll actually have around 3% of portfolio assets in cash. Ultimately, this is a low cash position for the portfolio. We are in a pretty enviable position as a municipal plan where we are receiving nice, cash contributions throughout the year. And those cash contributions do serve to meet our liquidity payments as well as being rebalanced back into the asset allocation. Ultimately, because we have a number of pending manager actions, i.e. funding of new mandates, reallocations across new mandates, and so on, along with the ongoing cash needs of the plan, there isn't presently a recommendation to, rebalance the remaining cash back into the market. Given all the volatility in the marketplace presently, given the fact that, again, the plan will continue to have liquidity needs, and we will be redeploying assets again amongst newer managers. Ultimately, we're comfortable with keeping that approximate 3% in cash over the very short-term period. So that's the purpose of the memo. We highlight within the memo overweights and underweights within the portfolio. No major surprises where we're overweight. Equities have done exceptionally well. So those areas of the market that have performed strongly will be overweight. And then we think about fixed income. Fixed income has really gone through some challenges and some headwinds in 2021. That's naturally an underweight portion of the portfolio. So no surprises with respect to overweights and underweights. And again, holding on to that cash position for this very short period of time is prudent in our opinion.
Is there a base level of cash that you think we should always have no matter what as a percent of the portfolio?
So as a percent of the portfolio, we'll typically look in very volatile environments, having, let's say, up to 6 months cash just as a prudent amount. That's pretty appropriate. I would say that, anything from 0 to 3% is an appropriate number. Once you start encroaching on that 5% number over a shorter time frame, that's where we'd look to redeploy some of that. But 0 to 3% is definitely reasonable to hold over a very, very short period of time.
Got it. Thank you. Are there other questions about the rebalancing? Great. And you don't need the board to take any action, Chris, right?
We do not, unless there was some action the board wanted to take, or there was, disagreement with the recommendation. If there's not, then no actions required.
Okay, great. Then I think we can move on to agenda item 4.
Securities income summary for the month: $173,594 received in September, close to $836,000 year to date, and approximately $50.3 million since the inception of the program. Diversity and local AUM, you'll see a uptick in the categories quarter over quarter. That's due to the initial capital calls and the inclusion of some recently hired managers by the board. So you'll see 27.8% when we combine the percentages, 20.27% for diverse managers as a standalone category, and a little under 10% for Philadelphia and surrounding area managers. And then in terms of the board calendars, the next scheduled meeting for the board, which is a combined November and December meeting, will be held December 9th. And then the first 2 meetings of next year, and that should say 2022, I apologize, January 27th and February 24th.
Any questions about staff report?
I have a question on the diversity AUM report. So looking, it says diversity investment managers.
Hey, Bill, can you put that on the screen? Thanks.
So September 30th, 20%. I'm just, that those are diverse managers, that's including women?
Yes.
Okay,
Female,
so
diverse, and then we lowered down on the page, you can see the percentages broken down: African American, Asian, female, Hispanic, Native American, etc., both when they're also local, and then on a standalone basis. The later pages break it down further by public market, hedge funds, etc., so that it shows you whether it's, again, female, Hispanic, etc. So we do. Go ahead.
Sure. Does the pension board, like looking at African American, 6% assets under management, do we have, I mean, that is an improvement over where it used to be, but just curious if there's goals here?
So we run I don't believe there's a set target, goal, aspirational, or otherwise for individual categories. We run a utilization study on the asset management industry that's presented as part of the budget testimony to council every year. And the numbers across the industry for both diverse managers and female managers is anemic, to put it politely. So the board is allocating significantly more capital to managers in these categories than the industry as a whole. That being said, we're always happy, as is Marquette, to discuss ideas, from the board, or to discuss, ways those numbers can be improved, or if there should be different, measurements or targets. But we have not ever, to my knowledge, established specific goals, per se, this percent for women, this percent for African Americans, this percent for Hispanic Americans, etc.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions on staff report?
But Chris, don't we have a language that say a percentage of our allocation should be to minorities?
We have an aspirational goal, obviously, for the brokerage, Carol. I don't believe in the IPS. There's a specific aspirational or defined number. No, not that I recall offhand. And if I'm mistaken about that, I apologize. But I don't believe we've established a number for that.
So, okay, so the language, do we have language that says that, I think the language is about hiring local firms. All right, so can we look at that again? The language? Or maybe
Sure.
we need to add, Rebecca, maybe we need to add it in there if that's,
Yeah, I think it would be worth thinking about how to be more deliberate around just at least deliberate in looking at opportunities for African American especially, but I think that it would probably be good to be deliberate about it, since just to have a further conversation. I don't know what best practice, what other entities are doing, but just to make sure that there's some strategy and thought. And I know that you give thought to these things, Chris, but it might be worth just having a further discussion about.
Sure, we can certainly do that. We're happy to speak with Marquette, take a further survey, or see what other plans have done recently in terms of other practices, and come back to the board with an update.
That would be great. And I do think we need to. I think we need to be sort of putting the women on this, like, on a different. I think we have we need to be looking at minorities separately from women, because I think Marcia said it earlier, but often we're not solving for, I think we need to be looking at African American and minority separately.
Okay, we can work on a template. We are switching custodians. We are switching custodians, and so that'll take place December 1st. We've been talking with them about new templates for the reports, so we can come back to the board, certainly I think by the January meeting, with some other ideas of how to break this material out. It probably will look the same for the December meeting, just given timing, but we can come back after the first of the year with some ideas on how to present this information differently going forward.
Okay, and also happy to talk with Chris, with you and Carol around sort of being more deliberate around setting aspirational goals in this area. If Carol, you would be willing to do that.
Oh, I'm willing, always.
Okay.
Sure. No, staff's always happy to do that.
We can even draft Marcia if we want to. I mean, if she's willing, you know. So.
Oh yeah, I'm willing to work on it. Yes.
Okay, great.
I mean,
let's do it then.
So Chris, who's our new custodian going to be? Northern Trust?
Correct.
Okay, I just want.
Okay, any other questions or comments on that? All right, then we move to the bittersweet portion of the agenda, which is the swearing in. It's bittersweet because we're really happy to be swearing in members, and particularly 2 new members. The sad part is that we're having 2 members leave the board, Veronica and Ron. Wanted to take a moment to thank you both for all your work on the board and all you've done. I want to particularly take some time to talk about Ron, who's been on the board 17 years and was the first board member to reach out to me when I got on the board, and has really been a great working partner. We've been through a lot in these last however many years I've been on the board. I really appreciate everything you've done, Ron, and I hope you stay in touch. Any other comments from anybody else?
Rob, we have been through a lot with Ron. We've been through, and just for people who have not been here, you may remember back to Special Pension Commission that we sat through for years and years, and Ron, we were part of that. Drop, all the iterations of drop, Plan 10, Plan 16, various mayors, various trustees, pension reform, the continued gradual reduction of the assumed rate of return, slashing the fees roughly in half of this fund. All of the expertise that you brought to the table in assisting not only the staff and making this, both Veronica and Ron, making the staff treating us like professionals and making us feel like what we did mattered. That's something that the staff appreciates and the staff values and is going to miss. The work with your fellow trustees, which was obvious to all of us at the board meeting, we could see that, and all of this was done not in vanity or not for anything else to get a pat on the back, but for the benefit of the 66,000 plus members that this fund has. And those members should be grateful to all of our trustees, but particularly for someone who served this board for 17 years and really did what was best for the members and for the future of the fund. I appreciate everything you've done professionally and personally, and as a whole, the staff will miss having you as a trustee. So I appreciate all of that from the bottom of my heart.
I don't know if all the staff is going to miss me because I bugged them every day for something. But I'm gonna miss them, I'll tell you. I'm gonna miss my interaction with everybody on this board. I've enjoyed it. I'm gonna stick around for a while to help my replacement, Roosevelt Poplar. And he'll do a great job. He'll get along with everybody. And but no, Fran, Rob, Carol, Brian, Veronica, the investment staff, and nationwide, the consultants. It's been a great team effort, and I am going to miss it a lot. But it's time for a change. But I'll be around if anybody needs me. I'm still going to chair the joint healthcare trust between the city and the FOP, as I've done for the last 30 years or so, I guess. So nobody else wants that job, obviously. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for the kind words, Fran and Rob, and I am going to stay in touch. So thanks.
Good. Thanks again, Ron. So with that, let's go to the swearing in of Roosevelt Poplar, Brian Coughlin, Carol Stukes-Baylor, and Paul Reed. I'm going to read the oath of office. There'll be a point where you'll either swear or affirm, whichever you want to do. So I'll start and then just repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Roosevelt Poplar,
I, Brian Coughlin,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly
do
swear
solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear, affirm,
that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States of America
that
I will support,
defend, and obey the
suspend the
Constitution of
Constitution
the
of
United States of
America,
America,
the Constitution of the Commonwealth, and the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter,
the
Constitution.
Constitution of the Commonwealth, and
Home Rule
Philadelphia
Charter.
Charter.
and that I will discharge the duties of a member of the Philadelphia Board of Pensions and Retirement with fidelity.
And I will discharge the duties of a member of the
Board of Pensions and Retirement. It was a long one, Rob. That was a long
Yeah,
one.
that was a long one. I didn't break up well
Long,
enough in that one.
You should have put the script up on the screen, Bob, and we just would have read it.
Good point. Should have. Anyway, congratulations. Congratulations. You're all now sworn in and you're members of the board. I look forward to continuing to work with Brian and Carol and to working with Roosevelt and Paul. And thank you for being willing to do this.
Thank you very
much. Thank everyone for accepting me into the board, and I look forward to working with everybody and helping out in any way I can with the energy of enthusiasm to learn new things that must be done for all of us.
Great, thank you.
Paul, we welcome you to the board, and you know how to get in touch with us if you have any questions. By the way, I'm glad you're feeling better. It's good to see you at the meeting. And Roosevelt, you know how to get in touch with us. We're always available to assist, to discuss. And remember, no question is a bad question, because sometimes this can get complicated. So we're glad to help. We're glad to assist.
I want to thank you all also for having me on board, and I look forward to working with everyone. I want to thank Ron for setting me up. Ron's not going anywhere, so don't even be misled about him leaving. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be around with me. So I know what we had in Ron here, because I've been knowing Ron for about 31 years now. So I know the type of effort and work that he put in every day here, let alone there. So I'm just hoping I can fulfill the duties that he left me. So I promise I'll do my best and won't let you down.
Great, thank you. We look forward to it. Okay, any new business? Any old business? It's moved and properly seconded that we adjourn, and we are adjourned. We move into the full board meeting now. There has been a motion that's been properly seconded to affirm the actions taken in the investment committee. I will call the roll. Diana?
Approved.
Brian?
I approve.
Vanessa?
Approve.
Marcia?
Approve.
Roosevelt,
Approve.
and Paul,
Approved.
Carol.
Approve.
I think I got everyone. Did I miss anyone?
You didn't get me, Rob.
Rebecca, sorry.
I approve.
Motion carries. Is there any new business? Any old business? It's been moved and probably seconded that we adjourn, and we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Uh-huh.
Gonna miss you, Ron.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Ron.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks, everyone.
Ron, congratulations, everybody. Hey, Ron, you know your duty, so don't act like you don't know who I am, okay?